Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 570 based on novel. So let's start. Pluto, you are too decisive. The monstrous aura that erupted from the invisible three demigod powerhouses finally made the look of Pluto in the distance become extraordinarily dignified. And what surprised Hades the most was that even the two most powerful men from outside the realm did not find the power to evoke the source. Why is this man's sense of smell so sharp? As everyone knows, although the son of the gods has not touched the four gods, the mysterious power of yin and yang makes his sense of smell much sharper than ordinary people. Although the power of Hades is powerful, if he does not secretly mobilize the power of the source, he naturally cannot deal with the 2.5 so easily. God powerhouse, of course, Pluto's actions are very costly. Your era will eventually pass away. The son of God's sneering voice sounded, and circles of extremely rich black and ***** spun rapidly around his body, bursting out like some cogwheels. Son of God, the situation is deadlocked now. Since I'm going to join forces to fight the enemy, you should come up with some convincing strength. Tianhu, Fa, and both are smart people, and immediately said, after all, they are grasshoppers on a rope now. That's natural. The son of God snorted coldly, and he no longer had any reservations about his full strength, and he showed it all. Kill. The bodies of the three demigods surrounded Hades one after the other, and the offensives along the way formed a series of magnificent attacks that shook the sky. Boom. The scarlet demonic execution ground collapsed in an instant, and a force that combined several different forces swept out. Wherever the force passed, the void shook abruptly, and then exploded, and the endless flame alliance was oncoming from behind. Many powerhouses couldn't help but vomit blood from the shock of this powerful attack, and their silhouettes shot back in embarrassment, setting off countless space storms along the way, and the scene was once out of control. For a time, countless powerhouses looked at the demonic execution ground in a state of collapse, and where they saw, four figures kept fighting each other in a shady and sun-shading posture. Dark King, why are you here? Take him away, this is the mark of entering the underworld. The next thing is left to you. Hades looked at the demon Xiao Yan with a dazed look on his face, his words were full of arrogance. Senior. Facing the terrifying power of Hades, the demon Xiao Yan stared at the three black shadows in the distance with his disparate eyes, and there was always an outrageous and crazy smile on the corner of his mouth. Descendants of the Xiao clan. Xiao Yang. You're not dead. An indescribable look of astonishment appeared on the face of the holy race supreme. Humph. Then let's fall together. Heaven is short of evil spirits. After an instant, a giant creature dormant and hidden in the void crossed the void, bound by time, and suddenly came from the void outside the underworld. The evil roar shook the sky, and the dark matter remaining in the dark space collapsed. That feeling is as if there is some kind of behemoth standing on the top of the void in the underworld, and the magnificent body is like an unattainable evil mansion. Even if their strength has reached the peak of the 9 reincarnation rank, they are still too small for this evil creature, and a wave of prestige that shakes the soul continues to spread. The demon Xiao Yang and the Dark King stood beside Hades out of thin air. The power of the demons and the power of darkness in their bodies continued to fall off their bodies, and they immediately swept towards the peak of this world, as if they were absorbed and swallowed by the other party. I'm going to exterminate that evil spirit. The indelible demon flames in the eyes of the demon Xiao Yang began to rise, and then a crazy voice resounded throughout the world. Even though the demon Xiao Yang knew that the strength of this evil spirit was definitely not something that could be resisted by the reincarnation rank, but for some unknown reason, faced with such enormous pressure, the demon Xiao Yang had always had a body, chest, and even deep in his soul. The awe-inspiring flames are burning and restless. The demon Xiao Yang didn't know where the limit of the demon's power was, but there was no doubt that its strength was absolutely convincing. Facing the opening of the demon Xiao Yang, there was a hint of worry in Pluto's eyes. Let him go, don't you want to meet him too? The Dark King said. A bunch of immortal guys. Kill me. The demon Xiao Yang went directly to the top of the clouds in this world, and then the three demigods suddenly fought with the Hades and the Dark Kings, and the momentum was shocking. The body of the demon Xiao Yang had just penetrated into the peak of the evil cloud in the underworld, and he saw countless cloud layers stirring around him. The devil Xiao Yang is also incomparable. Not long after, a pair of wings filled with fluorescent colors slowly flapped in the evil clouds, and countless evil breaths easily fell on the side of the demon Xiao Yang. The evil force bit the body of the demon Xiao Yang like greedy ants' skin. However, no matter how terrifying the attack of this evil spirit was, The spirit within the demon Xiao Yang did not flinch. The more he fought, the more courageous he became. Suddenly, the head of the evil spirit creature suddenly appeared on top of the demon Xiao Yang's head through the shroud of clouds in the void. Even if they were hundreds of meters apart, the demon Xiao Yang only felt a strong sense of suffocation rushing towards his face. Tear off. A pitch-black tongue of nearly 100 meters stirred countless powers, and suddenly flew towards the side of the demon Xiao Yang. Boom. Facing such a vicious attack from the other side, the demon Xiao Yang also burst into several monstrous halos of different colors, and the two completely fought together. Magic evil lizard. Tianhu, a pet raised by the law. The body of the king of beasts below was just about to swept into the sky to help Xiao Yang, but suddenly recognized the true identity of this creature. Wait. Pluto's breath doesn't seem right. Just when the king of beasts was about to move, Yaroji stopped the latter. With the strength of the current demon Xiao Yang, it is not difficult to entangle evil spirit creatures. The current crisis is still the battle of Hades and others. Once they are defeated, I am afraid that the entire underworld will fall into a state of doom. Everyone, pour all your power into the body of Hades. Please. Looking at the strange grains of sand that suddenly flickered from the body of Hades, Yaroji's expression suddenly became sad, apparently aware of something. Sure enough, it's a little short, but now that the descendants of the Xiao clan have arrived one after another, this king's mission can be considered to be completely completed. Xiao Yang, Xiao Yunming, retreat and help Xiao Yang. Facing the alliance of the other three demigod powerhouses, Pluto and the Dark King were quickly defeated, and the failure was only a matter of time. Pluto couldn't help but let out a faint laugh. Seeing Hades' actions like this, the rest of the people just felt that the world suddenly became quiet, and an indescribable fear spread little by little. I have a technique. The sudden aura slowly swept out, and the entire underworld's millions of meters of territory suddenly became silent, as if the master of the underworld began to mobilize all his power at this moment. The shocking situation of the sky-scratching blow made the faces of the other three demigod powerhouses move viciously. This volatility. The three demigod powerhouses joined forces to easily defeat the Dark King and Xiao Yang, but just as they were about to attack Hades with Tongqian's wrist, a touch of unease quickly expanded in his mind. The three of them are demigods, and they are all too familiar with this kind of fluctuations, but if they want to use the mere demigods to perform divine arts, it is completely nonsense. But the King of Darkness and Xiao Yang were continuously defeated by each other's attacks, and their blood was tumbling. Watching the terrifying offensive of the other three demigods that destroyed the sky and the earth, they immediately looked gloomy, but they looked at Hades so resolutely. The decisive move, and Xiao Yang, who fought fiercely in the sky, also hesitated. The joint attack of the three demigods is enough to shatter the world. If there is no choice today, I am afraid that all the strong people in this trip will fall here. If the strong people fall in the battle today, the Xiao clan, and even the Dacian world, I am afraid they will fall into a real crisis. Go, the Holy King and others will ask you. Here, and us to intercept. At the time of such a stalemate, Yaroji, who had a gloomy complexion and a floating breath in the void below, followed by the king of all beasts and a group of strong men. Just arrived at the battle center, the eyes of this group of powerhouses instantly showed wisps of murderous intent, countless powers tumbling and roaring. It turned out to be a steady stream of converging towards Hades, that feeling, as if they had long ago. Guessing what Pluto will do next, he will help Pluto with all his strength. Such an elite teacher composed of the 7th, 8th, and even the 9th level reincarnation order, countless powers are transported to the Hades, and it is also a source of power that cannot be underestimated. Everyone, don't worry, do what you do, what should I be afraid of? Many strong men of the Endless Flame Alliance in the rear said with hatred. Obviously they are also aware of the severe situation now, and they are ready to completely freeze with the other party. Go. The King of Darkness accepted the sand imprint that entered the underworld, and immediately dragged his severely injured body. The two of them swept into the top of the cloud together, ready to replace Xiao Yang. Although he had the imprint of entering the underworld in his hand, the King of Darkness had no way to deal with the ceiling barrier below, and now he could only pin his last hope on Xiao Yang. This beast. In the top of the clouds, the demon Xiao Yang almost did his best, but this evil spirit seemed to know how to seek good luck and avoid evil. Xiao Yang. Just as the three of them met, the King of Darkness had a gloomy face, and handed some sand imprints containing special power into Xiao Yang's hands. Senior, you are this. A look of surprise flashed in the eyes of the demon Xiao Yang. The King of Darkness's actions were really weird. This is the mark of entering the city of Underworld. The space under the city of Underworld is blocked by the seal and enchantment. The king of Pluto and I can't spy on the mysteries even if we exhaust our energy, we can only rely on you. The Dark King's voice was heavy, as if he was carefully exhorting Xiao Yang about something. At the moment of speaking, the evil creatures in the top of the cloud also stirred the space again, trying to break out a monstrous offensive. Time is running out, the matter of Ming Cheng will be handed over to you. Elder, take him away. While speaking, the King of Darkness laughed loudly, and instantly pushed the demon Xiao Yang's body away. Demon Xiao Yang's eyes kept flashing, looking at such a difficult situation. Whether it is this evil creature, or the reckless attack of the other three demigods, for them, it is a situation of destruction. The only way is to completely crack the sealing barrier. Go. As soon as the words fell, the two of them did not turn their heads, and flew away directly towards the underworld city below. Want to go? How can it be so easy? Two people, Ming Cheng is the place where Xiao Clan Shenqiang sleeps. The most important thing, please take action to stop Hades, otherwise once he succeeds, we. The son of the gods stared at the two demons Xiao Yang, and their bodies moved rapidly, trying to shoot them away. In just an instant, it broke through the defense line of Yaroji, the king of beasts and others, and turned into a beam of apocalyptic rays and swooped towards Xiao Yang and the two of them, and the offensive was appalling. You actually swallowed Wangxian Xuanzuan? Feeling the unstoppable son of God, Yaroji was also keenly aware of something. Win or lose, we still won this battle. While speaking, the son of humanity came to Xiao Yang and the two of them in an instant. On the side of the two extraterritorial evil race supreme, two dark beams slowly emerged, as if trying to completely kill Hades here. The offensive is huge, and it seems that all this is a foregone conclusion. Xiao Clan. Hades, it will be completely destroyed today. The Son of Man, the two supreme bodies of the evil races from outside the realm slowly lifted into the sky, and a powerful and suffocating wave filled the void. And Pluto, who was standing quietly in the void, also at this moment, a strange smile slowly emerged from the corner of his mouth, and the void around him began to tremble and twist violently. With the appearance of Hades' laughter, the world of the underworld stirred up, and circles of dark power flew out from the ground of the underworld and the void. Such terrifying fluctuations, even if it was three demigods. The strong can't help but be moved. Gulu, this lunatic. Pluto, once you allow such an attack to come here, you will fall completely, and even these powerhouses around you will not be spared. Do you really want to die like this? Heavenly Protector, Fa's inner unease was finally magnified infinitely at this moment. It's still a step too slow, and he didn't stop Pluto from the very beginning of urging him to activate the magic. The casting of the magic is a foregone conclusion. Divine magic. Originally, I didn't have full confidence to use it, but with the source of power of this group of juniors, I should be able to barely make the brilliance of the divine art bloom. Xiao Clan. Dakian world is not a place where worms like you can erode. Hades smiled coldly, the whole body almost became transparent and illusory, and an arrogant aura so powerful that it subverted everything fell from the sky. In the originally dark and barren underworld suddenly a dazzling light of the dark night flickers up, illuminating the entire barren land, and under the gaze of countless creatures, it cuts through the void, as if constructing some kind of supreme power beyond heaven and earth. Pluto, righteousness. Seeing this transcendent demigod peak powerhouse, at this moment, he spontaneously ignited the fire of his own life, cooperating with the source of reincarnation of everyone, and impressively displayed the kind of magic that only exists in legends, countless powerhouses a sire of or rose in his heart. There are countless waves flickering in the eyes of these powerhouses. The splendid radiance of the eternal night shone on every corner of the underworld, and immediately a heart-shattering chuckle echoed through the heavens and the earth for a long time. May this prosperous world prosper. Although I die, I have no regrets. God, magic. How can it be? In this world, are there any human beings who can use their own power to perform magic? Seeing Hades' resolute action, Ren Shenz's face instantly turned pale, and even his body trembled abruptly, and a fear from the depths of his soul slowly poured out. Divine magic, that is a method of destruction that is enough to endanger their lives. Among the countless records in the Great Thousand World, there is no one in this world who can rely on the power of one person to display it, but the actions of the Pluto in front of him clearly broke the shackles. Pluto's body began to burn, the power of darkness, sand grains, and the source of reincarnation gathered by the latter group, as well as a trace of primordial breath so weak that it was almost negligible. Countless powers converged on his body, a touch of overpowering him. Yu Tiandi's supernatural power evolved into a ray of brilliance in the underworld, and it became more and more intense. Boom! The entire underworld instantly became dark, as if it was caught in an eternal dark night. Countless dark streamers slanted down from the body of Hades, and the earth-shattering roar resounded, a violent darkness. The brilliance raged, and the countless territories of the entire underworld were shaken at this moment. Countless voids, the land was turned into pieces under the divine power of its eternal night, the dust, and even the powerhouses such as the Endless Flame Alliance, who had already been dying, were shaken by their blood, and instantly fell to the ground. Go! The power of Pluto's divine art, which relies on spontaneous combustion and the power of reincarnation of many strong men, has already reached an appalling level. Countless lights of darkness seemed to release a dazzling light of destruction in an instant, blasting away directly at the three demigod powerhouses. This kind of power has completely subverted their cognition, but although this kind of power is powerful, the price is too miserable. The people who were covering the underworld below raised their heads slightly, and their eyes were locked on the sky above the underworld. With their strength, they naturally couldn't fully witness what happened in the center of the battle. However, the changes in the energy of the surrounding heaven and earth made their hearts spin fiercely. Touched. Pluto's courage and determination have won everyone's admiration. The battle between the four of them lasted for 10 breaths. The sky of the underworld, which was occupied by countless extraordinary powers, suddenly cracked open, and dark cracks gushed out, as if connecting some unknown places, extremely dangerous. Pluto. Before the brilliance of the divine art was completely annihilated, 2 extremely miserable cold roars were transmitted from the center of the explosion. Looking up, the supreme being of the evil race from outside the territory, who was concealed under the black robe, was motionless and lifeless like a dead dog at this moment, and seemed to have been completely killed under the pressure of divine magic. On the side of Tianhu, Fa, the dark blood under the black robe kept dripping, the breath in the body was almost dry, and the gloomy face was full of crazy killing intent. Countless sources of blood dripped on the arms and body. Obviously, the power of the magical technique just now, if it weren't for the protection of the heavens, the law would have completely fallen here by using the supreme body of the saints as a cover to resist. The Son of God on the side, the body suddenly shattered at this time, leaving only a faint source of soul. The illusory body of the soul will go out at any time like a firefly. No one knows what kind of terrifying offensive took place during the 10-breath time of the magical battle just now, but the current situation. With the power of divine magic, Hades defeated 3 demigods. 1 death, 1 injury, 1 disability. The power of magic is really extraordinary, but unfortunately this magic is inferior after all. At best, it can only be regarded as a small magic, and it is still 1 step away from the real magic. Under the real magic, even a quasi-god powerhouse can only temporarily avoid the edge. Yaroji was well informed and immediately shook her head. However, the power of such a small magical technique is enough to surpass all quasi-divine techniques, and the power is simply appalling. Just like the curse magic performed by the Son of Light who enjoyed the blessing of the Queen of Angels in the Kingdom of Angels, they were all in the category of minor magic. The real magic, destroying the sky and destroying the earth, is probably only able to be performed by those who have touched the battle ***** level. These ants. With a seriously injured body, Tianhu, Fa Senran's eyes rolled, and then he swept across the sky step by step, and came to the dying king of Pluto. At this time, Pluto, the power of darkness, primordial power and other powers, vitality, etc., are all on the verge of collapse, and only the last breath is left. Even if he is intentional, it will not help. Let me give you the last ride. Tianhu, Fa raised his palm, and his sharp fingertips slowly penetrated into Hades' skin, flesh and blood, and the mad evil power raged like a flood of beasts, quickly occupying the latter's body. Shameless old thing. The king of all beasts forcibly burst into a roar, and immediately came to the guardian of the heavens, in front of Fa, and seemed to want to stop the latter, but now the king of all beasts and other powerhouses have nearly exhausted their internal strength, so what they can do, also very little. Below, the underworld. When the demon Xiao Yan and the great elder broke the seal of entering the city, they followed the secret passage and came to a dark place. This, here is the so-called heavenly lock void. Looking at the colorful seal formation in front of him, Xiao Yang's bloodline and clan lines in Xiao Yang's body burst out uncontrollably, quite a feeling of tears welling up in his eyes. The great elder on the side also had a vicious expression on his face, and he burst into tears. The one who slept in the ceiling barrier below was the supreme powerhouse of the Xiao clan in all dynasties. This kind of ceiling enchantment is not quite right. Holy flame, the power of the devil, almost all the power exerted on it is swallowed up by it. After some twists and turns, there was a dignified look in the eyes of the demon Xiao Yang. The battle in the outside world had already reached the stage of dire straits, and there was not much time left for them. Elder, give it a try. After hesitating for a moment, Xiao Yang also resolutely said, Okay. The first elder and Xiao Yang glanced at each other, and already understood the latter's thoughts, and immediately mobilized the few reincarnation powers in the body, and immediately poured it into the ruler of the god. According to Xiao Yang's investigation, above the sealing barrier, in addition to the breath of a holy king, there seems to be an ethereal fluctuation. That kind of power is related to Fenju. Boom. The flame god cauldron and the god execution ruler were deployed together, and the whole world suddenly darkened, and immediately attacked the sealing barrier with two unstoppable terrifying fluctuations. Internally and externally, the situation of the battle is ever-changing, which is truly mind-blowing. This blow from Xiao Yang and the two of them will definitely decide the fate of all beings. Heavenly Protector, Fa's terrifying evil power quickly erodes the remaining life force of Hades. With such erosion, the dying breath in the latter's body actually surged and recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. It's always the wrong move. At this moment, Pluto's eyes slowly closed, and a deep remorse emerged in his heart. There is no divine weapon, no holy flame similar to the sacred object of heaven and earth, no angel blessing, and now the display of small magic is already his limit, but it is too reluctant to use it to deal with 3 demigods. Today's Hades, there is no way. Ha ha ha. We won this battle. Senrant's face was suddenly twisted, and the maddened voice of the Heavenly Protector was transmitted in every corner of the underworld, with awe-inspiring evil intent. In an instant, when the King of Darkness wiped out the evil creature, the situation below became more tense. In the face of this situation, even he could not intervene too much. Following Tianhu, Fa's unexpected move, the hearts of countless powerhouses shrank tightly. Pluto, Xiao Clan, from now on, you will eventually become our prisoners. The endless suction forms an evil vortex so huge that it distorts everything, devouring the power of Pluto and others, and then transforming it into the purest power, nourishing and repairing the guardian of the heavens. The Son of God on the side is also assisting the latter. It seems that the battle of the underworld at this moment is already a foregone conclusion. Boom. Despair gradually poured into his heart, but no one had any remorse. The next moment, a violent sound that shook for 9 days suddenly sounded from the bottom of this world. At the moment when that voice sounded, the temperature of the entire world rose uncontrollably, and the terrifying aura that had experienced the ancient vicissitudes of life slowly emerged. Under the core of the underworld, this is a bottomless giant tower in the void. At this time, there are 3 deep coffins slightly entrenched in the void, 2 of which seem to be affected by Xiao Yang's palm and the Great Elder. The summoning of the God Execution ruler turned out to be shaking slowly, and a supreme aura that surpassed the 9 heavens rippled faintly. The moment the coffin was touched, the entire underworld changed its color. At this moment, the corners of Tianhu, Fa's eyes twitched violently, a flash of fear of death emerged, and his eyes seemed to penetrate the endless dark void, directly locking the 3 coffins below. At this time, one of the 3 coffins was empty, but the seal barrier that was attacked by Xiao Yang and the 2 of them together trembled violently, and a scorching energy tide raged. Holy King! Xiao Tianming! Watching the 2 extremely hazy figures slowly stepping through the void and standing horizontally in this shattered underworld area, terrifying voices kept pouring out from the mouths of Tianhu, Fa, and the Son of God. The strength of these 2 people is the real demigod, the pinnacle. Yuan jealous, the reincarnation of 100 lives. I never thought you were still so stubborn. I am a member of the Xiao clan, and it is not something that a mere demigod like you can shake. The flames rose on the Holy King's body full of brilliant colors, like a round of endless scorching sun shining on the heaven and earth. He stepped out quietly, and the old voice carried the magic power of a certain sound, which shocked the souls of everyone present. The Flame God Cauldron. The God Execution ruler, has it finally succeeded? Feeling the appearance of these 2 figures, there were bursts of relief in Hades' old eyes. Senior, you can't let them go, they are the culprits in the underworld. Xiao Yang shouted loudly from the rear, and the killing intent of the demons around him was surging. Don't worry, today, they can't leave. While speaking, the 2 figures of the Holy King and Xiao Tianming suddenly swelled up, and they swelled to an appalling level in a short period of time. In the hands of the 2 of them, the Jushan ruler and the Flame God Cauldron shone with dazzling rays of light that had never been seen before. As soon as they appeared, they wiped out the evil forces in the underworld. Even Xiao Yang was ashamed of such a shaking gesture. Ha ha ha. I can't believe that the two of you haven't fallen yet. At the beginning, the joint killing of Angel Kingdom and Human World Center and others was still a little short of heat. Heavenly Protector, Fa Yuan's jealous voice was loud, and the boundless evil aura surged violently, as if he was preparing to fight for his life. I am the ancestor of Yang, and I should obliterate all the ominous things in the heavens. In the hands of the Holy King, the God Execution ruler returned to his position, and immediately under his control, the dazzling holy flames turned into countless long and ancient tens of thousands of feet, slowly sweeping out, and the target was directly locked on the guardian of the heavens, the Law. That kind of fluctuation is indescribable, but it is full of the spirituality of heaven and earth. As soon as it spreads, the whole world is scorched hot, and it provokes the guardian of heaven, and the Law cannot move. The extremely miserable voices slowly came to know each other from the mouths of the two demigods. The source was damaged, and the demonic blood spurted out. It was terrifying. Who would have thought that these two powerhouses who have disappeared for countless years are actually reborn to another level today, and the strength of the latter is stronger than before? The voice sounded again. The Holy King and Xiao Tianming were just about to move to completely obliterate the two of them, but a chaotic cloud layer suddenly peeled off the sky of the underworld, as if there was some kind of divine mansion crossing the sky. Xiao Yuntian. Our account will be settled sooner or later. The voice fell. Tianhu, Fa's body was suddenly sheltered by a beautiful jade hand out of thin air, and fled away. Xiao Clan. On the other side, a long voice of hatred also slowly swept out, and immediately pulled the Son of God into it. The World Master of the human world, and the leader outside the realm? The palpitations in my heart lingered for a long time, and the fluctuations emanating from the two people just now may not be comparable to demigods. Boom. As soon as the crisis came into contact with, the Holy King and Xiao Tianming joined hands to display the supreme means of stirring up the power of heaven and earth, and stabilized this piece of the underworld that was cut and shattered by the little magic. In here. Immediately, Xiao Yang also took a deep breath, but looked at the chaotic and hazy void in the depths of the heavenly lock void. Among the three coffins, there was also a coffin mouth seal, which seemed to contain endless power of heaven and earth. Diffuse, that kind of power seems to be exactly the same as the two people who have just been short-lived. In the depths, there seems to be a faint aura that is attracting Xiao Yang to move forward. That kind of fluctuation seems to be exactly the same as Fen Ju. Junior Xiao Yang, meet Senior Xiao Tianming, meet the Holy King. It was not until the underworld regained its original appearance that Xiao Yang spoke in a mighty voice, and his voice was filled with a feeling of blood boiling. Hey, my Xiao clan's descendants can still appear such a talented person as you. It is my Xiao clan's luck. Xiao Tianming's handsome face gradually showed a hint of pride, but after a while, his face instantly became dark. You have her breath on you. The next moment, Xiao Tianming's brows slightly wrinkled, his eyes instantly changed from a majestic posture to a dull state. Staring at Xiao Yang absent-mindedly, an indescribable emotion crept into his heart. Even after countless years of reincarnation, when memories poured out like spring water, that beautiful shadow still occupied Xiao Tianming's mind and lingered for a long time. Brother, she. At this moment, Xiao Lingshan also stepped out of the large army in the rear, and immediately turned into a little girl in front of everyone, stumbled to Xiao Tianming's side, and choked with a red nose. She didn't know much about Lei Master's affairs at first, but after knowing the ins and outs of Lei Master's affairs, she couldn't help feeling very sympathetic. Sister, don't cry, tell me about her recent situation. Even if it's a big thing, there are brothers who will bear it. Xiao Tianming's flowing black hair fluttered slightly, and then he rubbed Xiao Lingshan's forehead dotingly and said, but anyone can clearly feel the cold killing intent under that smile. Lei Lord. Not long ago, the reincarnation was completely successful, and the strength jumped to the 9th level. But just after the reincarnation was successful, it was captured by the Angel Kingdom design. Based on the information we have obtained, among them, I am afraid that the 4 guardians of the evil clan outside the territory, and the mysterious position of the law uses the creation of the demon realm to cause trouble, but this guy has now died tragically in the hands of the Dark King, and there is no proof of death. Xiao Lingshan explained the news that everyone had learned slowly, and her tone changed. It's the kingdom of angels again. After hearing these 4 familiar words again, Xiao Tianming's eyes were clearly filled with endless anger. At the beginning, the Xiao clan did their best to protect the Great Thousand World from the evil hands of the evil clan from outside the realm, but when they finally won the difficult victory and drove the outside world away, the Angel Kingdom and the Human World Center secretly shot, trying to wipe out the Xiao clan. At that time, scenes of encounters, vividly. The Holy King also suddenly noticed Xiao Tianming's mood swings, and then shook his head. If Xiao Tianming is allowed to spread this anger, I am afraid that most of the underworld will be involved. Thank you for your hard work. This matter will not end like this. Just as Xiao Lingshan's voice fell, a terrifying aura like the rising sun emerged from Xiao Tianming's body. Hey, the Xiao clan and the Holy Kings are safe and sound, so I can rest assured. The Demon Emperor and other powerful men in the rear also looked at each other and smiled, and hurriedly silenced the atmosphere on the spot. Otherwise, the anger of a peak demigod powerhouse, I am afraid no one can compete. Although I'm waiting for the unblocking now, the land of the underworld still has checks and balances. I'm afraid it will take some time, and even if I leave the underworld, the place where I waited for the roots of the Xiao family has already been wiped out. While Xiao Tianming was talking, he turned his eyes to the distant Pluto, and the Dark King projected away. These two people are undoubtedly one of the most admired characters in the entire underworld. Although the crisis in the underworld has ended, they have endless taboos in the underworld, and everyone still cannot easily leave here. I am afraid that a quasi-god powerhouse is still needed to take action. But a quasi-god is a pinnacle person who is powerful enough to break through the sky, and if he leaves the underworld, where can he go? Senior, don't worry, after leaving the underworld, we can go to the Endless Flame Alliance. At this time, Xiao Yang also came up and said with a smile. Today's Endless Flame Alliance is tantamount to being one of the most powerful alliance forces in the entire Great Thousand Worlds, except for the Human World Center and the Angel Kingdom. If a few great powers join the underworld, the Endless Flame Alliance's power is tantamount to more powerful. The Endless Flame Alliance, it's so good. Xiao Tianming and the Holy King looked at each other and were amazed by Xiao Yang's actions. Obviously, this guy is now a famous person. You fellow, I'm willing to. The King of Darkness and the Great Elder Xiao Yang both sheltered the only remaining illusory soul body of Hades, and then their faces moved slightly. Today's Pluto is almost endangered, and his strength has suddenly dropped from the demigod level to the early stage of the ninefold reincarnation order. The display of the small magic, if it is not the power of reincarnation and the power of the underworld that gathers the people of the Endless Flame Alliance, I am afraid that Pluto will undoubtedly evaporate completely. Go, the injury caused now cannot be reversed, but fortunately the result is good. Cough cough. There is still one breath left. Pluto coughed dryly, and his illusory eyes slowly stared at a hidden and twisted coffin in the emptiness of Qiansuo below, with a touch of old tears. Fortunately, Xiao Tianming, the Holy King, and that admirable existence did not fall into his own realm completely, otherwise how would he explain to Xiao Tianyuan too? For a time, the entire underworld became quiet. Boom. The Holy King put a smile on Yaroji, and then the magnificent and huge means were displayed, and the endless flames of the world were unfolded, completely distorting the barrenness of this world and purifying it away. After 100 breaths, this area also returned to its original dark appearance. Second sacred flame? Xiao Yang, Yun Yun, and Kaelin crowded around each other. After seeing the earth-shattering action of the Holy King, the holy flame in his body was quite attracted to him. There's always something missing, otherwise. Slowly retracting his hand, the Holy King couldn't help but embrace Yaroji with one hand, and then stared at Xiao Yang with a smile on his face. Who would have thought that the heirs of the Do Emperor's inheritance from the lower realms of the day had actually transformed to such a terrifying level, and even saved them in disguise? Maybe this is fate. Everyone, don't be impatient, boy, come with me. Xiao Tianming laughed at himself, and then slowly led Xiao Yang towards the world below. The speed is very slow, but the space below reveals endless mystery. The faint luster of heaven and earth continued to overflow from the last sealed coffin, and a shocking wave continued to overflow. Senior, what's going on with this seal barrier? On the way forward, Xiao Yang still couldn't help asking. It seems that the King of Pluto and the King of Darkness brought me and others seriously injured bodies, and then Qianyuan Taishang and the Patriarch joined hands to seal the life force that shelters us. In the long years, there is a bunch of them. An inexplicable force tried to erode the seal barrier, and the Holy King had to force his way out, thus forming the seal barrier that requires the Qianyuan Taishang token and the Holy King token to crack. Xiao Tianming recalled. A bunch of inexplicable power? Extraterritorial evil race? Or is it the central world master of the human world? Xiao Yang frowned. It doesn't seem to be them. Xiao Tianyuan shook his head helplessly. For those illusory things, even his level could not perceive them. Let's go, here, there is an opportunity that belongs to you. He glanced at Xiao Yang with a little appreciation, and then the two of them poured into the heavenly lock void realm together. There is also some kind of arbitrary power in the world below, which is slowly recovering. That kind of power is as long and ancient as a real god's mansion, and it makes people feel respected. This video will end here.